Hello, welcome, Cabbage here. So let's revisit one of my top 10 favorite games of all time. This is King's Bounty for the Sega Genesis, back when Electronic Arts was good and cool. But yeah, I'm able to play this game like every year or even multiple times a year. And then I'm going to show a method that's very quick, so it's kind of a very self-contained game experience. It can be done in under an hour. And then unfortunately I don't have the software to kind of sling audio from one program to another, so I'll put in my own music. But the music is very distinctive here. If you get a chance to play this, give it a try. But we can choose from 4 heroes here. For this kind of speedrun method, I go for the sorceress. She has the lowest starting leadership, but she can cast magic right away. And then we'll go for the impossible difficulty level. We only have 200 days to find the hidden scepter. If we don't find the scepter in time, the king dies and the kingdom goes away. But here, we are going to kind of get through the game with as few battles as possible. So we're not going to fight any bosses, and we'll try to fight as few kind of wandering enemies as possible. And then what we will do is rent a boat, and then just take it around the shore. And then if we see any treasures, pick those up, and just run away from everybody. If we see any gold, we will not keep the gold. We will distribute it to get more leadership points. And that is key. We found a map to the next continent. So we are done with this continent for now. That was very quick. So let's sail into the ocean. I'll show you this continent here first. But we got the continent map. Yeah, so there's a lot more, but we found the next map right away. So we'll just go to Forestria, the next continent. And then here we're going to do the same thing. Just go around the shore. Look for the map to the next continent. And then the goal for this kind of speedrun is to get to the 4th and last continent. Once we are there, we can more easily find what we are looking for so that we can beat the game. However, if we kind of go along all the shore and pick up the treasures and not find the map to the next continent, then we might have to head inland a little bit and maybe fight some guys. Those wolves, they want to join me, but I don't want them to join me because they will just cost me money every week to upkeep them, and I'm not going to be using them to fight, so there's no reason to have them. Okay, here's a treasure cove. Get some more leadership, raise my weekly income, but no map. But yeah, raising the weekly income, that will make up for not taking the gold that we find. Typically, we're not going to run into problems with gold. Especially if we can get to the later continents earlier, because they have better kind of rates of reward. But yeah, we're getting so much leadership here, just from these random treasures, that it doesn't matter that the sorceress starts with the lowest value. If I were to play this game kind of the way that it's meant to be played, I would walk everywhere on foot. I would fight everybody that I come across. That might be fun to do for a live stream. But again, if I just want a kind of a smaller, self-contained gaming experience, I can play it this way. It's still satisfying. And then there, we saw a cave where we can recruit guys to our party. That will come in handy later, not now. Oh, those are trolls. They're kind of scary. They can regenerate. Here's a cave. It's either a recruitment place or a teleport, and that didn't look like a good teleport, so we'll keep going. I've always kind of wanted to do a video about my favorite video games. I think I could make a good top 10 list, what is it, Generation 4 and earlier? And then another top 10 list, Generation 5 and later. But this would definitely be in top 10, Generation 4 and earlier. I rented this game many times from Blockbuster and Hollywood Video. Okay, so I think we've gone all the way around, did not find the map, so now we need to head inland. So I will find a place, try to fight guys as little as possible. And thankfully, our boat can move faster than enemies, so we can kind of lead them away, and then get a little bit of opening to get through. Okay, so it looks like we are trapped by that enemy, but we have this recruitment place, so we can grab some nomads and use them to fight. It would be cool to do a clear with no encounters at all, but your luck has to be pretty amazing for that to happen. But we can still call this like a no boss run, no siege run. But yeah, this is how battle looks. Different units have like different number of spaces they can move. Some of them have ranged attacks. A few very rare characters can fly and kind of teleport around the map, or they have special abilities like the trolls who can regenerate. But the sorceress starts with peasants, which are very slow and weak, and they die easily. And then what happens if we lose a battle is that we get teleported back to the beginning. And I think we lose a little bit of time. We lose a few days. But nomads here are pretty good. They can move 2 spaces per turn. So I can move away from these two, druids and dwarves, who can only move once per turn. Kind of stay out of their attack range. And I can use magic during battle. Don't have any spells though. I can buy spells from towns or else find them in treasure chests. Okay, there's that battle, and we get a little bit of gold at the end. Alright, let's refill on nomads. Those kind of like recruitment centers, they will run out. They only have a certain amount that you can recruit. But every week is like a different recruitment center type will refill. And then here I recruited some elves who have ranged attacks, so we can shoot the bow and arrow, take down their sprites. Sprites can fly anywhere, but they're very weak and they die easily. Okay, there's that battle. Alright, let's look at the continent map. Still heading here and there, looking for the map to the next continent. Alright, we're kind of cutting here and there. Alright, here, let's recruit maybe my favorite unit in the game, that is ghosts. These guys are pretty overpowered. And as we can see, I can only recruit up to 44. Your leadership determines, you know, how... oh, there's the map to the next continent, great. Your leadership determines how many of a certain unit you can control. The thing about ghosts is that when they kill people, they will go up in numbers. We'll have a look at battle here. But if the number of ghosts that you have is more than your leadership can control, then they will go wild and they'll start attacking your guys and you can lose. So they're very powerful, but they're risky to use, which is why I like to use them. But when I do recruit them, I don't recruit anywhere near the max, so I can control up to 44, so we'll just go with a 15 here. Alright, let's attack these elves. We kill 3. Our numbers go up by 3, so they get even stronger. And they're pretty strong already, just like just one of them. Which is why their kind of leadership requirement is high. Alright, kill 4 nomads, gain 4 ghosts, and we're still well under 44, so we're looking pretty good. And then ranged attackers, they have a certain number of kind of range attacks they can do per battle. I think elves have the most, orcs have among the least, but I think orcs are better at kind of hand-to-hand combat. So there are 11 ghosts available, but I can recruit up to 19 there. I think we're good. Okay, so we found the map to the next continent. We'll go to the town, rent a boat, and then head to Archipelago, I think it is, Archipelago. And then that's kind of the biggest hurdle, is finding the maps to get to Archipelago. Because in this continent, it's a bunch of islands, so most of the treasure is very kind of easily accessible from the ocean. So it's fairly easy to get the continent map to the last continent. Alright, let's see if we can get this treasure. I think these barbarians want to join me. Most of the enemies, of course, are guys we fight, but there are some kind of wandering monsters that want to join us, so we'll take them. That might be another recruitment center for ghosts, but I think we have enough for now. Oh! Alright, here is a legendary treasure. These legendary treasures are going to be what helps us beat the game. But we have this map of where the scepter is actually hidden. But it's covered in tiles. We can uncover the tiles by discovering legendary treasures or beating bosses. We're going to try to beat it with just the legendary treasures and no bosses. But yeah, there we saw like another week pass. It was the week of the peasant. And what happens with the Week of the Peasant is that all ghosts in your army turn into peasants, which is very sad. So my army got considerably weaker and less fun to play. But again, we're not looking to fight. But yeah, as we advance farther with continents, the amount of treasure that we get from the chests goes up. Okay, increase leadership by 40. It's good. Alright, leadership by 40. Alright, so I think that's that island done. Here is the biggest island of this continent, or this archipelago. And lots of little passages like this, where we can just go in, get treasure, no enemies. And then here we got a map for the continent, so we can see like where all the entrances are, for example. Oh, another recruitment, ghosts. That's cool. I don't need them though. But let's get them anyway. Let's get rid of the peasants. Let's get some ghosts. Now my leadership is so high that I can control 118, but there are only 25 available, so we'll get 20. Okay, okay. Yeah, might as well. Clean them out of ghosts. But yeah, the armies, they do have a weekly upkeep. If you don't have enough money to pay to upkeep them, they'll just leave you. Alright, we'll cut ahead here, and there it is, the map to the last continent, Sahara. Okay, so we have a lot of this continent still left to explore, but we're just going to move on to the next. Oh, alright. So we actually found the second legendary treasure of this continent. There are 2 per continent, so that means I don't need to come back here. But the first 2 continents, I did not find any of the legendary treasures, so after we do Sahara, I'll have to go back there. Okay, last continent. This is going to play differently from the other continents. I don't care about treasure anymore. What I want are recruitment centers. Because this last continent, I can recruit monsters that can fly. And if my party is comprised of only flying monsters, I can ride on them, and I can fly over everything. Forests, mountains, water. And that'll make it super easy to find the legendary treasures on each continent. And then, once I have all of the legendary treasures, I'll have those pieces of the map, the tiles of the map, uncovered. And then I can start looking for the buried scepter. And yeah, that's how you do this kind of a speedrun method. Hopefully, the hints that we get from the legendary treasures tiles is enough to find the hidden scepter. But if we look in the lower right there, we can see the that scepter map. We see a couple tiles there uncovered. All of the legendary treasures will uncover tiles around the outside, which might sound less helpful than the ones in the middle, but like that center tile, it's always going to be grass. So we actually don't need to uncover that center tile. And hopefully from the tiles around the outside, that will give us enough of a hint of where the scepter's buried. Okay, lots of barbarians want to join me. Oh, there we go. So we found a recruitment center for dragons. So we're going to dismiss my entire army. We'll recruit 1 dragon. They're very expensive. Okay, we'll get rid of the barbarians. And then we'll start flying. Alright, we can fly and land and take off at will. We can just grab all of the treasures, get insane amounts of gold and leadership, get lots of spells. And then I already found one of the legendary treasures for this continent. When I find the other one, I'll go back to the old continents and look for the treasures there. Archmages, these are another monster type that can fly. I think there's also vampires and something else, I can't remember. But sprites, they can actually fly, but they're too small to ride. And this last continent is the only continent which has recruitment centers with flying units. I believe in the third continent, we may be able to get a wandering monster that can fly. But chances of that are low, of course. Oh, there we go. Okay, so we found the true treasures of this last continent. Also the third continent. So we're going to go back to the first and second and then get the legendary treasures there. Forestria and Continentia, I think. Okay, so we'll cut ahead here. As we look at the map hint there, lower right, we found them all except for 1, legendary treasures. So now let's look again at the puzzle map here. So we can see some kind of mountains in the upper right and mountains in the lower left. This is kind of one of the more difficult ways to find the treasure, but we see no water, we see no forests, we see no castles. So here I'm looking at the continent map, and I'm looking for kind of a valley between two mountain ranges with no water, no forests, and then that can give me a hint for where this thing might be buried. And then it might be on any of the 4 continents. There might be signposts. That can be a nice hint. They have the red dot on the map, so that can be fairly easy to find. Okay, but we'll skip ahead here. I am on the 2nd continent, and I found a place which looks a lot like the puzzle pieces hint. And then you have to line up the puzzle piece exactly with the map. So when I close it out, if it looks exactly the same, I know I am in the right area. So let's search the area. That will take 10 days, and we beat the game. We found the scepter. And yeah, with the impossible difficulty level, we had 200 days, and we had about 70 days left when we found it. It was about 100 days to get all of the legendary treasures, and so that left me about 100 days to search. But yeah, we were able to find that pretty quickly, get the good score multiplier, get a final score of 7,400. Okay, and that is the method to kind of speedrun King's Bounty. I would like to play it the prescribed way, where we walk everywhere. Okay, thanks for watching, and we'll see you again. Take care.